Basil Reed Developments, building sustainable cities. Basil Reed is a listed construction company founded in 1952. Through our 6 decades of existence, we have built on our experience and diversified into all aspects of construction, from mining to roads to the largest of large projects. As society becomes more urbanized, the need for housing is growing at a rapid rate, and Basil Reed Developments has positioned itself to fill this crucial need in South Africa. It's a normal day for Tukelo and his family. Lizzie, his wife, is making breakfast and Tukelo readies the kids for school. The atmosphere is cheerful and upbeat, but Tukelo says it wasn't always like this in his home.
I was living in a plot 5 riverbed, so it was like a square camp actually. It was difficult to say because I was like in a narrow place where you can't even think of anything, because I never thought that I would be able to get a property, because if you are in a squatter camp, your mind is like just like that.
But Tukelo and his family were given the opportunity of a lifetime. They were told that they qualify for a breaking new ground house situated in a new development called Cosmo City, northwest of Johannesburg. This project was an ambitious development initiated by the city of Joburg, who partnered with Basil Reed Developments to bring it to fruition.
There's a big need for housing in South Africa. There's still over 2 million people with inadequate shelter in South Africa.
We thought it was like a joke, but at the end of the day, then I was like surprised when we see this place developing and say, oh, this is where we're going for sure.
There were a number of informal settlements in this area, and the city of Johannesburg had to find formal accommodation for these communities, and that's where the planning of Cosmo City started.
In total, 12,500 homes were built, housing approximately 70,000 people. In the first phase, in cooperation with the Joburg City and Gauteng Department of Housing, the residents of the informal settlements on the property, Zevenfontein, Riverbend and Cosmo Farm, were identified. Thousands of families were allocated shiny new BNG houses. And it wasn't long before the pride in their new homes manifested in additions, renovations and gardens.
Honestly, I am very proud to be in here. I am very proud to invite anyone to come to my house.
Building a city is a team effort, and Basil Reed Developments has created partnerships with numerous stakeholders to ensure delivery in both quality and affordability. This vision was based on the idea of creating towns that would symbolize our rainbow nation, towns that would uplift and empower.
Cosmo City is one of the first truly mixed income housing projects in South Africa. The government wanted to change this approach of delivering low-cost housing in isolated areas and rather find ways of integrating communities and making sure that different income communities live within the same environment, but also that communities have integrated easy access to a range of social and economic amenities, and that's what Cosmo City provides.
When embarking on projects of this magnitude, Basil Reed Developments teams up with local authorities to identify greenfield sites that can best serve the major urban centers. In the case of Cosmo City, this was 1,100 hectares of farmland on a major arterial route. In January 2005, the first earth was turned. In less than 2 years, the dream became a reality as Cosmo City took shape.
In a matter of 5 or 6 years, you can already see that a fully fledged integrated community has emerged with all the necessary infrastructure and amenities in place.
With this model, the different housing types are built simultaneously. Every aspect of life has improved since moving into his own home, says Tukelo Makai.
You know, since when my kids started studying here in Cosmo City, I can see a big change, a very big change, which means the schooling is actually doing very well. They're assisting the kids.
Basil Reach Developments partners with education departments and assesses the education and training needs in the new towns. So for example, in Cosmo City, there are 12 educational sites, including creches, primary schools and secondary schools. There are also specialized vocational training centers, such as a hotel and catering school. Another exciting project was this creche, designed by students from the University of Cornell from the USA.
The building itself was designed on sustainable principles, so it's well insulated using double glazed glass, and it's very functional for the kids. So it's designed taking, smaller kids into account and their day-to-day needs. We made the land available. It's a partnership with the city of Johannesburg again, because the city will now actually operate and maintain and run that creche. And it's going to offer opportunities to a whole range of little kids as they prepare for formal school.
The second type of dwelling comprises partially subsidized finance-linked houses. In Cosmo City, 3,000 were made available, and here too, one can see the pride of ownership reflected in renovations and additions. Andise and her husband are delighted owners of one of these houses.
Then we put up the garage, and then when we were putting up the garage, then we decided, no, why not put a room on top of the garage, because it was on the plan anyway. So now upstairs is our room. Really, I liked it because it's far from Joburg, which is, the Joburg is very busy, so at least here it's nice and quiet. So even the kids can go and play anytime. We are fine with that. We know that they are safe.
The third type, and at the top end of the economic scale, are fully bonded houses offered for the open market. Cosmo City already has 3,360 of these, and while they may start out as a basic dwelling, many owners plow money and time into transforming their houses into mansions. Asnath came from the Tabombeki informal settlement and started her own business at Cosmo City. That's when she decided to build her home here.
We got white, black, Indian and colored in Cosmo City, and to me that was the first thing in me. It was important because I was dying all along to see myself mixed in a place like that. It's very rare to find a place in Joburg that cater for everybody. I like to sit outside by my garden. I'll see all type. They all my friends.
This concept of integrating communities has a knock-on effect. For many, it is an inspiration to do better, and by improving their own homes, they uplift the entire neighborhood. A spirit of community permeates the city.
I started building the wall, putting the electric fence, and started paving and put my garage door. I'm proud of my home. I like my home, and I'll always be here.
Most of the time I like the nice things. So when I drive around and then check these nice houses, I just tell myself, like, I want to be like this. I just want to see my house like that.
Alternatives like these higher density residential units provide an option for those who prefer to rent. This also creates an opportunity for real estate investors exploring new markets. Supporting and stimulating local business is also a cornerstone of our approach. In Cosmo City, 44 hectares of industrial property and 10 hectares of retail and commercial property provide infrastructure supplying jobs and business opportunities.
We want these cities to also be in tune with the environment. They need to be built on principles where we're not utilizing too much resources and energy.
Energy efficiency and environmental friendliness are vital. Cosmo City has 350 hectares of conservation areas and parks, and wherever possible, houses are provided with alternative energy solutions such as solar geysers and improved insulation, which translates into a cost saving for the homeowner and a lower carbon footprint for the entire development. Part of our new approach is to provide an urban management plan to assist local authorities with their urban management responsibilities and ensure well-managed urban environments. One of the much-needed benefits of developments like these is the economic impact which building a town provides. Over 50,000 employment opportunities will be created at our Savannah City development. Basil Reed Developments is working on several other projects throughout South Africa. These include Savannah City to the south of Johannesburg and Malibongwe Ridge to the north of Cosmos City, as well as planned developments in the Free State. Basil Reed Developments is also taking this vision and expertise into the rest of Africa.
We've received a number of requests from various African countries to do similar projects in the rest of the continent. People linked to government, for example, national housing authorities, etc., in countries like Kenya, Uganda, Zambia. And we want to take those discussions further and hopefully undertake similar projects like Cosmos City in the rest of the continent.
At Basil Reed Developments, we don't just build towns, but rather we create self-sustaining communities. Cities with a hope and a future that will benefit generations to come.
Every day I love it here. You know, even on the weekends, it's quiet, it's nice. I mean, I cannot explain. Everything is around, the shops, the schools, the church, everything is around.
Basil Reed Developments. Building sustainable cities.